The UK is planning to construct a megaproject that is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Imagine living in Newcastle while working in Glasgow, with a commute shorter than many people's daily drive. Sounds fascinating, right? This proposed megaproject will connect 9 major cities across England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland, with trains traveling at 300 miles per hour, departing every 5 minutes. This is the Loop, a £130 billion vision for a giant, circular, high-speed rail network spanning the British Isles. Proposed in February 2026, it's one of the most ambitious infrastructure concepts ever suggested for these islands. A country that can't even finish building HS2? Is this visionary thinking or just fantasy? This is the story of the Loop, the UK £130 billion high-speed rail loop to connect 9 major British and Irish cities. On February 6, 2026, Chris Williamson, the current president of the Royal Institute of British Architects, unveiled something extraordinary. Not a building, not a single piece of infrastructure, but an entire vision for reconnecting the British Isles. The Loop proposes to link 9 major cities in a continuous circular route. It will connect Newcastle, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Belfast, Dublin, Bangor in Wales, Liverpool, Manchester, and Leeds, all connected by high-speed trains running on elevated stone arch viaducts at up to 300 miles per hour. The trains for this proposed megaproject will be 50 meters long. With its speed, it will slash journey times so dramatically that every city on the Loop would be within 90 minutes of travel time from each other. With a price tag of £130 billion, the Loop is projected to have an economic benefit of £12 billion per year, according to Williamson. But this wasn't announced at a government press conference or a transport ministry briefing. It was submitted as an architectural manifesto to the Royal Academy of Arts Summer Exhibition 2026. Apparently, the event is a 258-year-old art show that opens its doors to anyone with a vision. And the 2026 theme was interconnectedness. So what exactly is the Loop proposing? Let's break down the engineering. The entire network would run on elevated stone arch viaducts, which are structures designed to raise the tracks above ground level. This design was developed with input from Elliott Wood, structural and civil engineering consultants who worked with Williamson from the early stages. This isn't just aesthetic. Viaducts minimize disruption to existing infrastructure, avoid the massive cost of tunneling, and can be built relatively quickly. Japan's Shinkansen system, arguably the world's most successful high-speed rail network, uses this exact approach. That is, running on viaducts above existing tracks and infrastructure. The Loop's trains would be 50 meters long, roughly half the length of a standard high-speed train, allowing for more frequent service. The trains will run non-stop, with a new departure taking place every 5 minutes. Hence, the train wouldn't have a timetable to memorize. All you need to do is to just turn up and go. The Loop's trains will run at a speed of 300 miles per hour, which would match the speed of some of the world's fastest operational trains. In a February 2026 interview with Dazeen, Williamson even mentioned that maglev technology could be an option, potentially allowing even higher speeds. For context, Britain's current maximum railway speed limit is just 125 miles per hour on conventional lines, and HS2 is designed for 250 miles per hour. The Loop would operate on a point-to-point basis. Trains run directly between cities without intermediate stops. But the Loop isn't just about trains. Williamson proposes continuous infrastructure running alongside the route, including power generation from onshore and offshore wind farms, small modular nuclear reactors at key nodes, and automated vehicles to handle the final leg of journeys from stations to final destinations. Perhaps the most ambitious aspect of this proposed megaproject is that it crosses the Irish Sea twice. The first crossing will be between Bangor in Wales and Dublin, and the other between Belfast and Scotland, likely to Glasgow via the southwest Scottish coast. These crossings would require either massive tunnels beneath the seabed or bridges spanning dozens of kilometers over open water. For reference, the Channel Tunnel connecting England to France is 50 kilometers long and took 6 years to build in the late 1980s and early 1990s, at a cost equivalent to tens of billions in today's money. And here's where vision meets reality. Because if there's one thing Britain has proven spectacularly bad at in recent decades, it's delivering major infrastructure projects. Let's talk about HS2, Britain's current high-speed rail project. It was meant to be a Y-shaped network covering 540 kilometers, connecting London to Birmingham, Manchester, and Leeds. The Leeds and Manchester extension were cancelled in 2021 and 2023, respectively. What remains is a 190-kilometre line from London's Old Oak Common to Handsacre in Staffordshire, with a branch to Birmingham. The original 2013 cost estimate for the entire network was proposed to be between £30.9 billion and £36 billion, plus £7.5 billion for rolling stock, making it £50.1 billion in total. But fast forward to date, the latest estimate just for Phase 1 has hit up to £80 billion. Construction began in 2019 with planned completion in 2033, but after a program reset in 2025, there's now no completion date. The government has described it as an appalling mess.
I am cancelling the rest of the HS2 project.
So when Williamson proposes a project potentially twice the scale of the original HS2 vision, costing £130 billion, the question isn't whether Britain could build it. The question is whether Britain has any credibility left to even consider it. The picture in Ireland is different, but equally challenging. The All-Ireland Strategic Rail Review, published in 2023 by engineering firm Arup, examined rail development to 2050 for both the Republic and Northern Ireland. Their conclusion? Upgrade the core intercity network for 200 km per hour operation. But the benefits of fully segregated 300 km per hour high-speed rail would be significantly outweighed by the costs. Even the Belfast-Dublin Railway, the busiest route on the island, just 112 miles long, has struggled. Journey times have actually increased by 10 to 20 minutes in recent years. The idea of a 90-minute Belfast-Dublin journey has been discussed since the mid-1990s, but never delivered. So let's address the question directly. Will the loop ever be built? Truth be told, the proposed megaproject is very unlikely to be built. Not in its current form. Probably not in any form resembling what Williamson has proposed. The £130 billion price tag alone, which is equivalent to more than 10% of Britain's annual GDP, makes it politically impossible in the current era. The engineering challenges of crossing the Irish Sea twice would be enormous. The political complexity of coordinating between multiple governments, some of which may not exist in their current form in a decade, is prohibitive. And the fundamental question remains unanswered. Is there actually demand for this level of connectivity between these specific cities? Turned out that Williamson assumed it, but the business case doesn't prove it. But here's the thing about ambitious visions. They rarely get built as proposed, but they shift thinking. They make the next proposal slightly less impossible and even more reasonable by comparison. The £45 billion Northern Powerhouse Rail investment that was just announced, that would have seemed fantastical a decade ago. Now it's official policy, partly because people have been talking about high-speed rail across northern England for 15 years. The Loop's immediate fate now rests with the Royal Academy of Arts. Submissions for the Summer Exhibition 2026 closed on February 11, 2026. From up to 18,000 submissions, approximately 1,200 works will be selected for display. The Royal Academy will announce the results of the first round judging on March 18, 2026. As of today, there has been no public confirmation of whether the Loop was among the works selected. A committee, including Rebecca Salter, the Royal Academy's president, along with artists Eileen Cooper, Michael Craig Martin, Una Grimes, Catherine Jones, Goshka Makuga, Humphrey Ocean, and Peter St. John, made the selections. If selected, the Loop will be displayed from June 16th to August 23rd, 2026. Alongside paintings, sculptures, photographs, and architectural models, part of a 258-year tradition of open submission contemporary art. Democracy in action. Anyone can submit. The committee decides what deserves to be seen. It's somehow perfect that a project about interconnectedness must first pass through a selection process that judges art, not infrastructure. Vision, not engineering. Provocation, not practicality. The Loop will almost certainly never be built. But perhaps that's not the point. The Victorians built railways when Britain was the world's richest nation, and labor was cheap. Those railways still form the backbone of the British and Irish transport networks 150 years later. Today, Britain struggles to build a single high-speed line. Ireland debates whether 200 kilometers per hour is fast enough. Both islands have high regional inequality, car-dependent development, and carbon emissions that need to fall dramatically. Williamson wrote, "Britain needs a vision that can excite the country, regenerate the economy, and restore confidence." He might be right about that. Whether the loop is that vision is debatable. Whether it's practical is doubtful. Whether it's the right solution is uncertain. But in a political culture that has normalized failure, canceled ambition, and described its own infrastructure projects as appalling messes, there's something valuable about someone standing up and saying, this is what we could do if we tried. 10 million people, 9 cities, 2 islands, 1 loop. It's a vision, a manifesto, a provocation. Whether it's genius or madness probably depends on whether you think Britain and Ireland need more dreamers or just better project managers. This brings us to the end of our documentary on the UK £130 billion high-speed rail loop to connect 9 major British and Irish cities. Until next time.